Whether it's getting in trouble with parents, police, or the paranormal, all of these YouTube videos have one thing in common. They absolutely did not go as planned. Number 10. A YouTube channel called Exploring with Adams is trying to sneak into the Chatham Hospital through the basement. This hospital is supposedly well guarded with high-tech security systems and even dogs. I'm not sure what he expects to find inside, but it's probably not these bright yellow chunks of rotting insulation. Hopefully this is normal and not asbestos, a type of building material often used in old hospitals that is known to cause very bad health effects. After about 5 minutes of navigating through dark tunnels and dead ends, he pops open a ceiling panel and drops down inside the main building. The hospital's dirty white rooms are mostly empty. At one point he does come across this mysterious message written backwards in jagged red letters, but I can't make out what it says. Let me know if you can. Less than 2 minutes later he finds himself running down the hospital hallways as fast as he can.
Alarm, people! Alarm! Alarm!
Exploring with Adams double times it through the basement tunnel system and scrambles above ground. He gets away for now, but hopefully no street cameras tracked his escape. Number 9. Zishan Sheikh is fooling people with a scream mask all night until he goes a little too far. He's sitting in the road with his back turned when he scares the driver of this vehicle unconscious. I don't know if it's staged or if this person had some kind of heart condition and passed out. I'm not even sure he is still alive at this point. Either way, this YouTuber cradles the person's body in his arms and prays. It's unclear what happens next. The fact that they immediately stopped recording makes me think this stranger's reaction could be real. Number 8. A YouTuber named RazakTube is ringing people's doorbells and then blending into their Christmas ornaments wearing a custom-made suit. It's a pretty funny joke until they get to the last house. When the owner comes out brandishing a firearm and a flashlight, they duck back into their car and try to play it off. It isn't long before their cover is blown and the neighbor comes stomping over.
Wait, he's right there. He's a gun. Say hello. Is he coming towards us?
Yeah.
Hello, sir?
You just come to my door, knocking on my door?
Sorry, I can't see anything.
Yeah, you're right, you can't see anything.
At this point, they stop making the YouTube video and quickly get out of there. I have little doubt that this video is completely real, especially considering the bonus footage his friend was able to shoot from the back seat.
Understand me? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Understand me? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
It sounds to me like he was debating on calling the cops on them, and fortunately decided not to. Number 7. Jelly Spotters is making a YouTube video with a homemade Ouija board. They barely get out a few questions before one of the candles starts to do something really weird.
W-R-T. What? You see that candle? Okay.
Jelly Spotters is not standing near any fans and all of the windows are closed. Plus, if it was the wind, then the other candles should go out as well. After a while, it becomes apparent that the spirit is using the candle to answer them instead of the board.
Do you want us to say goodbye? Do you want us to leave? Can we please say goodbye? Yes? Alright, let's go.
Number 6. A YouTuber named Unexpectedly is documenting his exploration of an old military facility. The abandoned building has reportedly since become a setting for an underground cult to perform strange and bizarre rituals, which he wants to learn more about. Daylight does not make this place any less terrifying as he crosses through hallways covered in cult warnings and symbols. Judging from this room and others like it, it seems as though the rumors are true. He stops to investigate a square panel on the floor that matches a hole in the ceiling. It gives him a bad feeling, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was being watched closely from this hiding spot. A few minutes later, he's standing in the very middle of the structure, and there's a little light here. That's when he hears rustling footsteps nearby. The footsteps cease soon, and he finds another hole in the ceiling. It's almost like somebody is using these above ground tunnels as a way to stay one step ahead of him. Everything grows quiet and still once again. For some reason, a far door grabs his attention. You don't get to see them very clearly, but what appears to be a large hooded figure is standing on the other side. Whether this is scripted, paranormal, or occult is up for you to decide. I am just glad he was near an exit and made it out alive. Number 5. If this brown fish tongue looks a little peculiar to you, then you are absolutely right.
And it may look like an ordinary fish tongue.
The last time I checked, ordinary fish tongues shouldn't have dozens of wriggling feet on the bottom.
It's almost like a beetle. But if you look closely, it has little feet that move around.
What you are looking at is actually a common parasite among fish. It grows inside of the fish's mouth in a rather grotesque manner, first eating away the fish's tongue entirely, and then securely fastening itself in the tongue's place. The fish must now share its food with the parasite if it wants to survive. Hopefully, this clever parasite never figures out a way to somehow transition to our species. For all we know, it may just be a matter of time. Number 4. A YouTuber named Bradinator conducts a risky social experiment to see what would happen if he pretends to be a Russian hitman in public. Bradinator doesn't actually speak Russian, but that doesn't stop him from walking around in a black suit and sunglasses, speaking on his phone in a made-up Russian-sounding language. This alone is enough to draw some weird looks, but I think what alarms people the most is the steel briefcase he carries around and repeatedly makes a big deal over.
Excuse me, did anybody touch this case? Okay, thank you.
He never says it outright, but Bradinator seems to imply that something bad could be inside the briefcase, maybe even a device ready to blow. Watch this part and tell me what you would have done if you randomly encountered this briefcase laying there.
Excuse me, sir. Watch out for the briefcase. Watch out. Nothing. Don't.
At one point, he apparently creates enough of a scene for the police to come and give him a stern warning. Listen to this part and tell me if you think it's real.
I was just with my friend. I'm gonna film a Russian hit my prank.
You come back, I'm gonna take you to jail.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
The voice of the police officer sounds kind of young, and the radio dispatch sounds like it could be a sound effect. Then again, they do briefly record a police car with its lights on, so maybe they really did get told to knock it off by the cops. Number 3. What should have been a fun day at the zoo quickly becomes a nightmarish scenario when a child named Timmy finds himself wedged in the folds of an elephant statue by the leg.
Timmy's leg is stuck in the elephant.
First, the YouTubers try to handle the situation themselves without any help.
Move this leg.
It gets stuck even more.
There.
Soon, zoo officials notice the commotion and try their best to assist. When that fails, Timmy knows the situation is getting serious. A team of rescue workers arrive almost 20 minutes into the whole ordeal. By now, Timmy is distressed and I feel pretty bad for him. I also don't see any signs warning to stay off of this elephant statue, so if anything happens to him, the zoo could be in a lot of trouble. Eventually, they are able to pry the trunk up long enough to remove the scared child and spare the statue. Timmy now has to go to the hospital to get checked on, but as far as I know, everything is okay with his leg in the long run. I'm curious to find out if you think the zoo should be held responsible for the hospital bills based on what you've seen. Number 2. A person disguising themselves as a clown has apparently been stalking this family and now has their home address, though why he is doing this I'm not exactly sure. I think this video might not be real because the person filming stands very close to the glass, which could be broken out at any moment if he was truly crazy. She also attempts to reason with him, which seems like a waste of time compared to hiding or calling the police.
Just leave us alone.
I think the clown could have easily gotten in if he really wanted to, but if my suspicions are incorrect, then seeing this would be absolutely horrifying. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills and I hope you're enjoying my narration. If you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. My new music video Stranger was recently released. Could I get your honest opinion on whether it's good or bad? Tap the circle icon in the top right corner. Then tap my music video to watch it. It's a proven fact that generosity makes you a happier person, so if you're generous enough to hit that subscribe button and the bell beside it, then thank you. This way you'll be notified of the new videos I upload every Thursday and Saturday. Number 1. A YouTuber named Eris is making a Ouija board YouTube video. That definitely did not go as planned. It's 3 in the morning when they make contact with no less than 8 spirits. First, the Ouija board spells out the word curse with a K, and then this happens.
No, it might be. Oh my gosh!
A chair pulls out on its own, and within minutes, a friend named Brandon is apparently completely possessed. They find him on the stairs sharpening knives without a word.
What happened?
What the? Brandon?
Brandon, you okay?
Oh, are you okay?
It's hard to tell if Brandon is truly possessed or just acting, but judging by this video, his strange and twisted reaction is definitely not what they had planned on that night. Friends are supposed to always have your back, but in most of these situations, having a friend nearby would only add to the body count. Either way, these are some scary videos you probably shouldn't watch alone.